Highlights then from the AM category in the RaceRoom Rank Championship Season 2 of 2022 would see the WTCR trophies take to the Hockenheimring with Bence Farkas on pole position. It'd be a good launch from the Hungarian, who'd hold clean into the first corner. Sebastian Ray hanging on to second position, but looking back towards Pavel Makonnen, he would dive down the inside coming into the hairpin after a little bit of a mistake from Ray, running out a little bit wide. Gianmarco Verducci was also under attack in the background from Denez. Coming down to the arena section for the first time, Popov and the Cooper was trying to make it 3 wide, pushing out Daniel in the Peugeot, as well as Renter in the Alfa Romeo. By the time they got down towards Mobile 1, Daniel had cleared up into 8th position, and the attack was coming from behind. Popov trying to find his way through, diving it down the inside into the Sachs curve, hooking up the curb nicely and getting the drive off the corner to grab the position on Renter. Coming down into the hairpin, though, it was a little bit dicey. The second lap of the race, everyone trying to find out their track position, and Balázs Nagy was trying to get his way past Schmidt with a big dive down the inside. The two of them had a drag race off of the corner, and the Hyundai of Balázs Nagy would hang on to the position, working its way up the order inside the top 10. Sebastian Ray with a big send down the inside of Pavel Makonnen to be sent straight out wide coming down to the arena section. The two of them continuing to go side by side, and it might well have opened the door for Gianmarco Verducci. He said it was reunited with his Cupra. He's not raced it for a little while, and a big send over the curb. He was trying to grab over the final position on the podium, absolutely throwing it in wherever he could. Gianmarco Verducci remained on the inside of Sebastian Ray coming through the Sachs curve, and the two would stay side by side up towards the penultimate corner. Through the chicane, it was a big send straight back down the inside from Sebastian Ray to get alongside Gianmarco Verducci. A little bit of contact between the two, and as they head towards the final corner, advantage would swing the way back of the German. On board with Denez, Gianmarco Verducci would once again make a big send on Ray as they head down towards the Sachs curve. The Hyundai trying to get involved any which way he can, with Sebastian Ray holding the defensive line in his Peugeot. Gianmarco Verducci tried to open the door as Ray had done in the previous lap. Verducci would send it in coming up towards the final corner and would take over third position as they head to complete the third lap of the race. It was all about this battle for third. Whilst Balázs Nagy had pulled his way back up to the rear end of the train for the podium, the battle for 7th was raging on extremely hard, with Popov trying to find his way past Christian Orban. A big send down the inside coming into the Sachs curve. Christian Orban going very, very wide, giving a lot of room to his fellow Cupra, and Popov would work his way up another position inside the top 10. Pavel Makonnen was running in second position, catching down our race leader Bence Farkas. However, unfortunately for Pavel Makonnen, he suffered an internet disconnection and he would be out of the race, promoting Gianmarco Verducci up into second position. Mitrovic was having a very big moment coming into Mobile 1, just on the edge of the top 10. This would drop him back a couple of positions just ahead of Fosto. However, he'd not be done with the fight for the top 10. Schmidt was on the charge, running in 6th position at this point, but still trying to get past the Hyundai that belongs to Denez on the run down towards the hairpin. This might have been his best opportunity to try and find a way through, closing up on the slipstream with a super cutback. However, the two of them would run wide. It would allow Popov back into the fight, potentially to grab himself a top 5 finish. All three of them will return to line. Popov, though, with a big send down the outside of the arena section, all the way around Schmidt with a super move. That move certainly would not be complete, though, until they got to Mobile 1. Once again, Popov trying to make it stick all the way around the outside, still trying to hang on to what is 6th position to go on the attack of Denez, in a little bit too deep into the Sachs curve, but he'd hang on to that 6th spot. Wasn't just inside the top 10, though, where the battling was. This just outside of it, 13th position. Fosto hanging on in his Lincoln Code, just ahead of Mitrovic, who was back on the charge. Lopez, who had a great drive on the hairpin, struggled a bit there and struggled a bit through Mobile 1 as well, pulling over one side to allow Burkhardt to come through and take over 15th. Once again, another moment from Denez. This time, though, it did open the door for Schmidt to come through and take over 5th position. The battle wasn't quite done as they head into the arena section, but that was Schmidt and hanging on to 5th position. Schmidt was able to pull away. The battle for 6th was still raging on as Renter would try and get down the inside and take over 6th position with a beautiful cutback. Whilst all of those were battling behind, it was Denez having to worry about the charge of Daniel on the rear end, the slipstream being gifted from Orban, who was trying to work one way and then back the other, and as they were racing off of the hairpin once again, Renter was dropping back a position as Denez would take over 6th. Behind, though, the battle between Daniel and Orban would see them race their way towards Mobile 1. A little bit of contact between the two as Christian Orban was just pushed off the road slightly, and it would switch its way back the way of Daniel. And not long after that, Orban was under attack from his countryman Bozo, coming up towards Mobile 1 once again, dropping back into the clutches of those behind. Popov also in the fight. The two Hungarians would fight over 8th and 9th. Speaking of Hungarians, Bence Farkas would come round the final corner of the Hockenheimring to take victory ahead of Gianmarco Verducci and Sebastian Rey.